Well, howdy, 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 Nearly Senior Citizen here. Greetings, boys, girls, and all of our non-binary friends, and welcome to this, a brand new day. Hope he smokes. It has been difficult getting to be able to record this. In fact, I go through tissue so much, it is absolutely insane. Just before I started to record, and then running into the recording, my nose, both sides, just started to run, and it was like, oh joy. So that took a handful of tissues to take care of that. I use tissues for like their purpose. Mine of chronic sinusitis, yay, gotta love that. And of course, I did sleep sort of last night, got to bed very, very late, almost 2 o'clock. I was having too much fun watching videos and playing video games, and so I stayed in bed till 6:30 this morning. Yay, wasn't sleeping. I wake up normally around 4 or 5 anyway, even if I got into bed around 2. So, joy. Life is life. And of course, YouTube algorithms front-loading of the video. Hey, if you could toss me a like if you like what you hear and see, that would be very, very cool. If you could subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, that too would be awesome. If you could leave me a comment, I enjoy comments. I read every single one. I thumbs up each one I do read, which to remind you is all of them. I answer as many as my executive dysfunction will allow. It's very cool. And of course, I do want to thank each and every one of my Patreon patrons. These beautiful and awesome people are literally beautiful and awesome. I am slowly sinking beneath the waves, and that's life. But these people are helping to slow the sink, and that's nice. I was thinking, gosh, at least I'm not drowning, but then it's like, well, it's sort of prolonging the drowning. But, it's better than just, going away real quick. So, thank you, each and every one of the Patreon patrons. And if you'd like to help me out, that too would be awesome. Very, very cool. So, yes, indeed. I have to check my list here of topics because my brain fog is always present, even in the best of times. One thing happened yesterday that was funny and horrific. I had 2 reaction videos still left to edit and then upload and all that. I record all of my videos, like right now, I'm recording off my PS4 with my PS4 camera, recording onto there, and so I gotta get a USB stick, copy it off there, put the USB stick onto my computer, suck the file off of there, and then I put it into a directory. Well, when my files aren't necessary anymore, of course I delete them. So I was moving a file off of my USB stick, my vlog, onto my not reactions from PS4. I was going to be moving it into my video files from PS4 directory, but it was full. So I deleted it and then copied the file over. And then realized that yes, I had in fact deleted all the files from my reactions from PS4 directory, and those 2 videos that were of the reactions that hadn't been rendered and posted yet had just been destroyed, because I don't send stuff to the what is that, recycle bin. No, I just hit shift and delete, and so it just deletes it right then and there. So they were gone. I've done this so many times in the past with other stupid fashions. Not a lot, just like 3 or 4 in total. I've tried third-party undelete tools, never worked. So I just Googled and found out that Windows 10 and Windows 11 has an undelete tool in it, Windows File Recovery. Of course, you have to go through the Microsoft Store to get it, but I went to the Microsoft Store, got the file, and then ran it on that drive and set it to just start looking. It took almost 6 hours of looking because my wildcard was too much. The directory names off the PS4 have the word Share Factory in them. So I set it to look for share. And then star. So it would find every single thing of share and then anything. I forgot that there are a lot of files that have the word share in them. So yeah, it took 6 hours, and at the end of that 6 hours, it started saving all of the things. It saved a lot, 14 gigabytes, and it was only getting started. And yeah, it saved those 2 files. So hokey smokes, that's kind of cool. Windows 10 actually has a functioning, I'm doing it again, I can't speak English today. Functioning undelete. Cool, and it worked. So definitely a thumbs up on that. A very, very good thing. I have been reading through and leafing through the whole D100 dungeon book and trying to absorb the rules as best I can. One of the bad parts I am going through right now is, of course, you need character sheets and such to actually make characters. And so making characters and doing these things is the best way to learn them. I don't have character sheets, I don't have a printer, I don't have money. Now I need to go back up to the library and renew my library card, because apparently if you have your library card you can get, and I've done this before, 30 free copies. Now that was like 5 years ago. 30 free copies per month if you have a library card. I can print off a couple of the character sheets and such like that and mapping parts and then get started, but I gotta get up there and do those things, and I don't like going into buildings where there are people and unmasked people. Yay. So I gotta check on that, and I'll do what I can, but it is awesome. D100 Dungeon is very, very cool if you enjoy gaming. Thumbs up on that. Continuing to check my whole list here. Oh, I gotta talk about this one because it's funny and awful depending on your faith, and funny again. Because there was a priest who got recorded or some such saying baptism's wrong, using we instead of I. And so that invalidates all those baptisms, and then more and more priests have been going through and finding out that they've been saying it with we instead of I as well, which is a huge cascading effect, which is all these people who were baptized are now not. And so if you thought you were going to go to heaven if you're a Catholic, then you're not, because you're not baptized, and so it's all just falling apart, and it's a huge thing. That's the funny part. The non-funny part, of course, is I don't want to actually make fun of people who believe things. I believe weird and stupid stuff, and I believe things that aren't stupid and weird too. So I'm not going to make fun of other people's beliefs, especially their religious beliefs or spiritual beliefs. But what made it funny again was when I was on Facebook and somebody had made a big old post, and it was a repost from somebody else. But it talked about how, they were using the pronouns incorrectly. And so all these people are having issues because, as they state, this whole thing is happening because people weren't using Jesus's pronouns. I guess pronouns are kind of important, aren't they? Especially since you can't speak English about anybody or anything if you don't. But all these people that go on about, pronouns, I'll never date anyone who has pronouns in their bio. It's like, well, how am I supposed to talk or refer to you then? If something like telling people what your pronouns are is going to be a turnoff, what am I supposed to do? Just draw stick figures and point to that when I'm referring to you because you hate pronouns? So, that's fun. But that also tied in with another thing. I have spoken before about how it's taken me a long time to come to a lot of the understandings that I have. But past media has to be recontextualized for each generation, or it just becomes increasingly out of touch and means nothing. So each generation has to recontextualize things. Now, right now, there's this big Lord of the Rings thing where a lot of the reactionary alt-right fans are just up in arms because there are characters that are non-white. And oh my gosh, Tolkien never wrote about non-white characters. Read his books, they're all non-white. And it's like, well, people. Number one, everything has to be recontextualized. Number two, things happen with authors that even they don't understand. Tolkien repeatedly said up until his death that the Lord of the Rings books have no subtext. They mean nothing. They are no allegory. They are no metaphor. They are nothing but just pure adventure, and they mean nothing. But if you look at it, it is a perfect metaphor and allegory for all the things happening in world wars. He was in the World War One, probably World War II, I can't remember. But it was, he may not have consciously meant to have this subtext, but it's written large in his work. So there are cultural things, there are things that authors don't understand, and you have to recontextualize everything. So it comes back to I gotta remember the part that I've got. And I was really reminded this in comments from Confused Owl 29. Hello. Talking about the back rooms and how it's gotten wild and crazy, and the canon is thick, and who knows what real canon is. And also that reminded me of another thing that I have come to embrace, even though this is the sort of thing that drove me crazy when I was younger. When people say, that's not canon, or how could this happen? We've proved it was canon here, and now you're doing something here and it's not. The thing is, everything is canon. It's all fiction anyway, but everything is canon. Embrace that, because not only does it make things more fun, but it also adds to your enjoyment, because it is just purest gatekeepers are going to have strokes when you just go, well, yeah, of course that's canon. And it's not. But oh, it is. Because everything is canon, especially the contradictory parts. Watch their faces turn red when you embrace that in front of them. But yes, recontextualize your media. You have to. And then, of course, one of the things that I also wanted to talk there is this one character. I talked yesterday about the whole, not everybody has to have that 1 in a million, 1 in 1,000, 1 in 10,000 extra chromosomal expression to be a hero. One of the characters that I want is a background type character, but I was thinking more about how, you are smart to carry weapons in the inside and the razor's edge, because otherwise your chance of being at are greater. One of the people that's not 1 in 1,000, but at the age of 10 is this one person. Her name is Gal. It's when you're younger, a lot of the things is you have a chosen name by your family. Later on, when you get older, you can choose your own name. It was her family name that chosen for her was like Galadine, so she likes Gal. And her family name is Adion, so she's Gal Adion. Which is Adion Gal, since they do family name then first names. But point being, about 10 or 12, I can't remember exactly, no, it's 10, she and her friends are having a little thing over at her house while her parents are outside. 99 times out of 100, when something weird shows up and you go adventuring into it, you're going to be fine as long as you're smart. It's only those 1 times out of 100 you're wandering into like a funnel spider web trap, and then no one ever sees you again. But most of the time, if you're smart, you're okay. So she and her friends decide to go adventuring, and they head on down into this thing that opens up when they try to go down in the basement to get some food, and it turns out there's the whole fluid geography. It's a little place to go adventuring. Oh, as long as you've got you can hit the glamours, you're never trapped anywhere. So they grab their stuff, they've got their little kid toy weapons, and they head down. And the first level is fine. Everybody's just grabbing stuff. They're looking at things. It's just it's more like a decrepit old mansion basement. But when they go down onto the second floor, they find an area that smells real bad. And when they go in, there's a corpse in a doorway. It's older, but it's not fully rotted away yet. A guy in armor. The top half of his body about this wide, the bottom half larger, because it's in a doorway, and the triggered something, and pow, with these huge stone blocks. So there's the puddle of rot and filth long dried on the floor, and the armor the fellow is wearing, and then there's a sword just hanging in the air. Now when they see this, it's like, oh, should we go any further? Pick something up, spikes come out of a wall, they decide to leave. Gal picks up this sword, figures out how to use it. It's actually a bit of bizarre tech. She uses that sword, which is very difficult to use, but if you can use it properly, is very, very powerful. And when she's 18, saves the lives of herself and a lot of people in a group with it, which shows that her decision at age 10 to start practicing with all this weaponry, because I forgot to mention, because hey, ADHD, when they come up out of this thing, everyone's kind of bummed out by the dead person. And on the equivalent of Crimson Kingdom television, across town, the news report, a handful of kids got et when this thing burst into a school. Doesn't happen often, but every couple of years. And so the kid's thoroughly bummed out leave, and at 10, she decides she's just going to start practicing so that she'll be safer. And so she does. And tomorrow I'll talk more about her and her experiences, and that'll be good because I have opened up 24 hours worth of comments in my community tab, and I'm going to go through and thank however many people have left me comments. It's more than 0, and that's awesome. So thank you very much. If I mispronounce a username, no disrespect is intended. And even though I count American Sign Language, well, you've already seen how my mind works. Oy vey. So we have Confused Owl 29, thumbs up and thank you very much. And yeah, you can get too much into Canon, and I like doing Canon, but sometimes it's just embrace the contradictions, mostly just to piss other people off. Tony Wilkinson, thumbs up. We have Zombie Wolf, greatly appreciated and always good to interact, don't worry. Flora Mew, thumbs up and thank you very much. And yup, lung butter, you gotta love it. Cocos, greatly appreciated. Jay, thumbs up and thank you. Ben B, good to see you in the comments. We have Robert Bitsilly, thumbs up and thank you. There is Dava Fabrian de Vantara, whom I may have thanked yesterday, but if I did, then that just makes the number bigger. So thank you, each and every one of you. You get me out of my head and into the world and dealing with real people, and that is appreciated to no end. So with my hands in the air, hey, I don't know what device you're watching this on, so I don't even know if you can access the show more video description, but if you can, wherever it happens to be, inside are links to all my various channels, so you can check that out, as well as links to my Twitter, my Facebook, my Patreon, and of course, I would like to thank once more each and every one of these Patreon patrons. These literally are beautiful and awesome people. My kitty cat is alive because of them. My little hamster is alive because of them. They just greatly, greatly appreciate it. And of course, I am alive because of them, and I appreciate that to no end. And I really forgot to check how long I should be keeping my hands in the air, so hopefully I don't just have text over my face as I keep talking. If you'd like to help me out without becoming a patron, I do have a link to PayPal. And if you'd like to help me out without doing anything like that, there's an Amazon wishlist link with stuff like cat food. And if you could help out that way, that would be awesome. Please and thank you. Oh, yeah, I didn't do much here. Yesterday was a day. Hopefully I'm going to be more productive today. We shall see. We shall see. Hopefully you're going to do the things that you want to do and never feel guilty. Life is just life. You know, whether you do the things you want to do or whether you don't, we all die. So on that cheerful note, if you do not have to go out amongst the unmasked, unvaxxed, maskless, mouth-breathing plague rats, it's hard to say that and say it clearly. Please do not. If you do, maintain your social distancing. Please wear a mask, wash your hands, try not to touch your face, maintain that social distancing, get vaxxed if you can, get the booster if it's available for you. You got to get through this. We are alive for such a short period of time, and then we are dead for so long. So please, don't check out early. So, until we meet again, you take care. Have a great day today. I will see you on the flip side. And, well, quite frankly, I think that's a very good thing.